Hey everybody, welcome to Red Zone Fiends. I'm Frank Yorva back again for episode 2. This is my brother and co-host.
Yo, 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 Joshua Yorva, what's up, everybody? Football season is upon us, everybody. So if you like Red Zone, you got fantasy football. If you're in the fantasy football league, so are we. If you like gambling, we got a couple good bets for you every single week. So trust us, put all your money with us. We will not let you down.
Try not to at least. All right, there's a lot of news in the NFL. Let's get into it. Josh Jacobs signing his 1-year contract.
All right, Josh Jacobs, yo, 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 yeah.
So he signed a contract up to $12 million, right?
Yeah, that's right. Up to $12 million. So we got right here his contract details. So he is up to $12 million. So he signed a $10 million 1-year deal, up to $12 million. I'm guessing with incentives, right?
Yeah, it's probably a base of 10, but I didn't really get to see on it. But if it's up to $12 million, it's probably with incentives. So, but I wonder if he thinks they're gonna get a long-term done, because if he would have just signed the 1-year spot right now, next year if they go ahead and try to tag him and it being like 1,400 or 14 million instead of the tag.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they're gonna be paying higher anyway next year. So you might as well just lock them down now, right?
Yeah, I would think so. And I'm not fully sure what the Raiders are gonna do. Now, obviously, they got to use them like a workhorse all year, right? I mean,
to keep Jimmy G. If Jimmy's playing at 100% health the whole season, then I like our odds this year. I really do.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you need Jacobs in as a running back. You need him.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, he's been out for the preseason. He's been out through the training camp. How much do you think he's going to play week 1? And if not the full amount, when is it going to take the Raiders to let him play the full amount to get back 100% with the team?
So I'm thinking maybe like 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks tops.
Yeah.
But I mean, even as a running back, I want if he was at home staying in shape, which I'm pretty sure he does because he knows what he's gonna have to do. But you can kind of think of it like as he's coming in with fresh legs. He didn't have to pound the middle, pound through training camp and all that. So maybe it was a health thing also as well.
Yeah.
But I would say at most 2 weeks, and then he's gonna be 100% bell cow again. But you never know.
Okay, so real quick question about Josh Jacobs before we head on is that what is your over-under on the yardage and the touchdowns that he's going to get this year?
Okay, so at the over-under yards for this year, rushing yards or scrimmage yards? If it's
We're going to go with total yards. He was involved a lot with the passing game.
So scrimmage yards. I think he's about 1,800. I think he'll give us about maybe 12 or 1,300 yards on the ground, and probably another anywhere mid $600 or 600 yards receiving.
Okay.
Jimmy G does like to check down, save quarterback, but a lot of play actions. If everybody's covered downfield, then he's always got the little safe check down, and his receiving ability got a lot better in the last couple years.
Alrighty, yeah, sounds good. Yeah, I think he's gonna go with around. I say about 9 rushing touchdowns, and I give him around 12 total touchdowns this year.
Yeah, I would say I would think the over/under for the betting should be around 12 altogether, right? Like receiving and rushing. Man, that's kind of tempting to take, because I think he's gonna put up at least 11 or 12 on the ground. So I would probably go on the over on that one, given how high the over/under is.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited for him that he is back, and it's great news for the Raider Nation, baby.
Also, good news for the Raider Nation. We may have hit a gem in the 4th round with Aiden O'Connell. Man, that guy got down. Now, I'm not saying he's better than Jimmy G or nothing like that. I'm just saying we might have gotten a really, really good top second backup quarterback. And if anything did happen to Jimmy G, I wouldn't be too worried. Obviously our chances of going to the playoffs would go down, but he has shown he can make those NFL reads. He can make the throws. He looks sharp. So throwing the mix with Josh Jacobs in the backfield with him.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a duo to watch if he does play this year. Now we gotta hope Jimmy G does do great for the Raiders, but it's great to know that we have a really solid backup. Probably the best, my opinion, the best backup in the league.
Yeah, Garoppolo looks solid. He looked solid. I don't think he played game 3, and even if he did, it wasn't very much, maybe a drive. But in his week 2 game, he did play solid. I think he was like 6 for 8 or something like that. He went down, scored a touchdown, and he looked good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he absolutely did.
I don't know. Maybe the Raiders did need a whole scenery, a change of staff, a whole clean slate. Because the way they played, their defense looked good, their offense looked good. They looked Jimmy, what's his name? O'Connell did look a lot more comfortable than Derek Carr did in Josh McDaniels' offense.
And it's funny because he does remind me a lot of Derek Carr back in his first, I'd say, about 3 years.
He doesn't look scared to
Yes.
be mobile, to stay in the pocket and take the hit.
Absolutely, he's
Derek, that was the
not
one.
seem nervous.
That was the one knock about Derek Carr was like when he heard footsteps, and it was kind of true. After he broke his arm and his leg and stuff like that, he kind of did get kind of timid and go down kind of easy, not really scramble and move.
Yeah.
But he does. O'Connell, he really does. Now that you mention it.
Okay, well,
So this year for the Raiders, I think we're gonna end up going on the high end now. I think we'll end up going probably 11 wins on the high. The whole Josh Jacobs signing changes everything for the offense, and whoever drafted him, and you guys took him in the 2nd round, you guys were kind of like, oh, because easily he's a 1st rounder.
Yeah, absolutely. Now we have a special guest with us here today, and I want you to introduce to Andrew the Jet Yorba here. So Andrew
the Jet,
what's
dude.
up, buddy? Go ahead and hang out by Uncle right there.
Over
Your
here?
uncle? Yeah, perfect. All right, there's your camera, buddy. Okay.
I'm looking at the look.
Yeah, you're
Right
good
there, boy.
All right, Andrew, we have
A couple questions for you.
questions for you. How do you feel about Josh Jacobs signing with the Raiders? Is it relief? I can see you got your Jacobs
I'm
jersey.
really happy.
Yeah, that's great. All right. Now, what about Raiders? Are you excited for this season?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Raider Nation, baby. Let's go.
All right, now we have a couple questions to ask you, okay? We're going to go through every week who the Raiders are going to play, and you're going to let us know if we're going to win or lose.
Okay.
Okay. First, the Raiders are going to play Denver Broncos in Denver. What do you think? How do you think we're going to do? We got a win or a loss?
Win.
All right, we got one win for us right
No, I
here.
can give you that. I can give you that one. I think we come out. Our defense is going to look good. I don't think their offense is going to be ready to go. I don't. I think.
Yeah, it might take Sean Payton and Russell Wilson time because he's a new coach, right? And Russell Wilson did not look good last year.
He didn't even look good in the preseason.
All right, so week 2, we are playing the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo.
Oh, Buffalo.
Whoa,
Buffalo,
man.
okay.
Hey, we have to be honest here.
Yeah, I like I like
I
the
really.
realism we got here.
It's in Buffalo. That's another thing. It's in Buffalo.
Okay, now Raiders are gonna have their first home game week 3 versus the Steelers. Who do you got right there, Andrew?
Raiders.
Raiders. All right,
All
there
right,
you go. We
taking
got,
the Raiders.
cool, we got a bunch of wins. Okay, week 4. We have the Raiders going to LA versus the Chargers.
But remember though, because they're in LA, there's always more Raider fans than Charger fans. So it's kind of like another home game.
It's
for
an
us.
extra home game that we have every year. Who do you got, Andrew?
Raiders.
Raiders. All right.
All
I like
right,
it. I
all
like how
right.
this is
I just
going.
want them
How do you stop? How do you think they can stop Justin Herbert? If you had to control the defense, how would you stop him?
I don't know. Blitz.
Blitz a lot.
Blitz him,
All
blitz him,
right,
blitz him,
that
blitz
sounds
him.
good. Don't let him sit back in the park.
Aggressive,
Keep
huh?
him clean, huh? All right.
That's right, all right.
That's right.
Max Crosby.
Crosby, baby. All right.
Mad Max, baby. All right. Week 5, Raiders are going to go to Lambeau Field versus the Packers. How do you think we're going to do there? No Aaron Rodgers, keep in mind.
Oh.
Ooh, tough one for Andrew. You stumped him.
Probably the Raiders.
All right, there
All
we
right.
go.
I like it. I like it. It's gonna be a real good game. I think that guy Love, if he can perform like a first rounder that they took, it'll be a good game.
All right, week 6. The Patriots are going to Las Vegas. We all know how that last game ended last year. Probably the best ending I've ever seen, especially to the Patriots. How do you think they're going to do this year when they come to Las Vegas and play the Raiders?
I think the Raiders are
They think they're going to win? All right. Sounds
So I believe a lot of all of Bill Belichick's assistants that went on to go and play for other teams, they have a winning record against Belichick. Just throwing that out there. I think they've all gotten the better half of them. So that maybe that's a little something on our side, a little bit of luck, you know. Never know.
Okay, now week 7, Raiders are gonna travel to play the Bears. How do you think we're gonna do there, Andrew?
Justin Fields.
I say the Bears on that one.
Bears, all right.
Bears. All right. You think he'll wear down our defense?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Okay, now we got the Raiders at the Lions. We're going to Detroit on week 8. Who do you got on that week?
Raiders.
Raiders? I like it. I like it.
Dude, how do we stop the Lions? Do you think their offense is going to be really good again?
Maybe.
Maybe.
We
Maybe.
never know.
You never know.
Never know.
Okay, all right.
I just don't think we're gonna win.
Okay, that's right. I love the confidence. All right. Now the Giants are going to go to Las Vegas. Who do you think's going to win?
Giants.
Giants?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Bengals
Pretty
drop
quick on
one.
that
All right, I can't blame you. I mean, you can't win every game, so it's not a bad choice to lose to.
Okay, now Aaron Rodgers and the Jets are going to travel to Las Vegas week 10. Who do you got? Tough one, huh?
Maybe the Jets barely.
Okay, barely close game.
Yeah, so
All
really
right.
close game.
I'll be happy competing with Aaron Rodgers and the Jets defense, right?
If we can put up points on that Jets defense, then I think we have a really good chance of winning.
Week 11, Raiders are traveling to Miami to play the Dolphins. Who do you have, Andrew?
Dolphins.
Dolphins. All right.
Dolphins,
I
You
just
think Tonga's gonna do it?
Yeah, I think he's good.
Tua, baby Tua.
Okay, the Raiders are going to host the Chiefs when they come to Las Vegas. Who do you have? Raiders versus Chiefs.
Oh,
I like it. Close game.
Where are they
okay.
playing? They're playing in Vegas.
So we're playing in Vegas, yes.
I just think the Chiefs.
All
Okay.
right, all right.
Hey,
That's
it's
fair to
okay.
say.
Way
Fair
to
to
be
say.
honest. I
Defending
like it.
champs, Patrick Mahomes. It's kind of hard to go against him. I get it.
Okay, week 13, Vikings are traveling to Vegas to play the Raiders again. Who do
Oh,
you think?
Vikings.
Vikings. Oh.
Vikings, what?
Oh.
All right, okay,
You
all
think
right.
Jay Jett is going to put in some work versus
Yeah,
us? or-
he's
Okay.
Kirk
all right.
Cousins. Cousins coming to town.
All right, week 14, Chargers are going to go to Vegas and play the Raiders.
Raiders.
Raiders,
All
all right. I
right,
like
sweep. I like the sweep of the
There you
Chargers.
go.
I like
My
it.
boy.
I think we're gonna be.
Pressure Herbert.
There we go.
All
All
right.
right, now Raiders are going to go to Arrowhead and play the Chiefs. Who do you got right there, Andrew?
I think we're gonna lose the other one, but this one Raiders.
All
In
right,
Arrowhead,
yeah.
I like
Ooh,
it.
I
There
like.
we
You know
go,
what? That
1-on-1.
might be a trap game
Yeah.
later
yeah.
on for all you bettors out there. That
All
might be
these
a trap
gamblers,
game.
Yeah.
You never know.
Okay, now Raiders week 16 are going to go to the Colts. They're-
Raiders.
Oh
Raiders,
yeah,
yes.
I like that one too.
Now I keep saying weeks, but
No.
this is not the exact.
What
weeks.
if Jonathan Taylor does end up playing? You think if he plays or not, we're still gonna win no matter
Yeah,
what?
I think we're still gonna
No
win.
matter what, right? That's right.
Okay, the last game of the season, Denver is going to go to Las Vegas. Who do you got?
Oh, Raiders.
Raiders are
right.
going to sweep the Donkeys. Okay, so we got here is Andrew got 4, 7, 10. 10 and 7. Andrew has a 10 and 7.
Hey, I'll
year.
take it. 10 and
Wait, so
7. That's a
we'll make it to the
respectable.
playoffs?
That's a right in the hunt for playoffs. Could make playoffs depending on
Depending on division, how we swept the Chargers and the Broncos, according to your predictions, that's actually a lot better for us because now if we end up with the same record, we have the tiebreakers over them.
Oh.
So we have a good chance of going to the playoffs with the 10 and 7 record.
Yeah, I actually like it, and I think he did pretty good on that. You know, there's a couple games that are kind of iffy, kind of a toss up. Overall, I like the record.
Which one's your hardest game that you had to predict?
Wait.
Which one was the hardest one that you just didn't know what to pick?
Oh, the Jets and the.
The Jets and the Jets and the Raiders. Yeah,
Yeah,
I hope that's a good game. I want to see a
Yeah,
good game
that's
too.
tough.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
So we just want to say thank you so much. One of the biggest Raider fans you're gonna ever see. So Andrew, the Jet Yorba, thank you so much for coming on Red Zone Fiends podcast. Give me a fist bump.
Okay.
All right.
All right, dude. Thanks, man. Thanks for your picks. And we'll see you around, dude. See you Sunday.
Week 1. He'll be back week 1, everybody.
All right, you guys. So that was little Andrew's picks. Ends up with a 10 and 7 record, which is I think good for a wild card position at least, at the very least.
Yeah, absolutely. I like it. There's a couple teams that I think we have a pretty better chance of. Like he said, losing to the Vikings. I think we have a decent chance right there. The depending on their defense. So yeah, that was actually pretty good from Lil Andrew.
Yeah, the Chargers. The Chargers, this is hard because you don't know what kind of team you're gonna get from them. Sometimes on paper, best roster in the NFL, or one of the best rosters on the NFL. But then when it comes to the gameplay, they find ways to lose. It's like, damn, dude. I mean, what are you gonna do? You know, they changed coaches last year. The same thing. They fumbled at the very end. Not fumbled, but like they choked at the very end. Whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of hard to watch when they play.
So now it was a couple teams we wanted to look at, take some time. Probably going to do this every week, right? Have a couple random teams we take a look at. You said you have Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets.
I'm going to actually talk about Aaron Rodgers real quick before I get into my Denver Broncos team. But I just wanted to highlight because I did draft Garrett Wilson. And we'll talk about him later on in our fantasy thing. Yeah. But Rodgers' debut as a Jet, I watched the first drive. A couple funny plays, but they didn't really do anything. Yeah. The second drive is when he did come downfield and he scored it looked like the connection is going really well with him and Garrett Wilson because that ball was thrown when the defender wasn't looking. So he trusted him enough to throw that ball. Yeah. And know he was comfortable with the results.
Yeah, and they're only going to get better and better and better as that season
they're
going. So I think they're going to have a great year. I think Rodgers, I've drafted him as my first quarterback this year. Hopefully I get that old Green Bay awesome Aaron Rodgers. So,
I think he will because at the start of the training camp and everything, he's over here getting along with the players and really going through, like, he has time and patience with them as opposed to when he was in Green Bay at the very end. He was just like, man, I don't got to train these guys. He didn't want to be buddy with Jordan Love, but he's with that other guy, Zach Wilson. There you go.
He's actually talking good about him too. So, I mean, that only makes your team better, man. I think they're feeling something over there in New York. So.
But what happens if it doesn't go good though? In the first couple games, do you think we're gonna get the prima donna that he used to be?
Man, I think we're gonna get one of the best Aaron Rodgers because of everything that has happened. All this controversy that he basically caused. So I think for him, he's getting close to retirement. I think he's gonna go all in with this team. I think he's gonna go all team sportsmanship, dude. He's gonna go for it.
He's gonna do the right thing.
Absolutely, he's gonna do the right
every
thing.
step of the way.
He Salah, his new head coach. I think everything's gonna gel for them this year. I think they're gonna make a deep playoff runs. They remind me of the AFC Saints, honestly.
I'm calling it right now. It's gonna be either Saints, top 3 teams, Saints, Jets, and the 49ers, top 3 in the NFC. So okay. two out of those 3, they're gonna be in the NFC final, in the thing, or before NFC Championship, whatever you want to call it, because they all have strong defenses. Sauce Gardner on the Jets, New Orleans. They always have that corner. You know his name. So everybody.
Sauce Gardner?
Huh? No, the corner from for the Saints.
Lattimore.
Yeah, Marshawn Lattimore. And then you know what I mean. So everybody's got a good defense. It's just when you got a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers is going to separate you from you're an elite quarterback. You're not that good quarterback anymore. You're the elite. That's what's going to separate them.
Alrighty. I like it.
So Baker Mayfield. On to the other thing. Baker Mayfield. Man.
The Bake. Yeah. So this is an NFC team that I actually wanted to talk about. So he's been looking really good in the preseason, man. He's been doing great. Just to go over his stats real quick. Week 1, 8 for 9, 63 yards and a touchdown. Didn't play week 2. Week 3, 6 for 6, 43 yards and 1 touchdown. So I mean, he's just gelling with that team.
He doesn't look forced. Everything looks nice and smooth, and like he's not having to worry about the competition. But even though he was in the quarterback competition, he just looked calm demeanor. It doesn't look like he's trying to force anything anymore. In Cleveland, he did have a lot of injuries that were actually bad injuries, and he actually did play with them. So I don't think it's been a while. But I think, what do you think? Last shot with the new being a starter.
Yeah, I think this is definitely it. And honestly, I feel like the Bucs are slept on because Tom Brady is gone. They do have a raw defense. A lot of them got hurt. A lot of them were hurt last year, and then he still has the pretty good wide receiver corps, man. He still has Evans. The great thing about Baker going with Evans is that Evans is super experienced. He just played with Tom Brady, so he's going to help out his quarterback, obviously. Then he has Godwin, still a monster, super underrated still to me. So I think this team is going to be slept on. I think them and the Saints are going to have to battle it out for 1 and 2 in that division. I think he's going to do really good, man. I think he's going to do really good. My upside is going to be a 10-7 season for the Buccaneers.
Oh, 10-7.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, looking at their schedule, I was
Right.
thinking 10-7 if Baker can play his top game, and he just might, man. Like
you said though, he has Mike Evans, who's Mr. Possess, big time, their big possession receiver, and he always over 1,000 yards for 8-9 years now. So I feel like he's your best possession receiver.
Yeah.
And like you said, Chris Godwin, he's your good slot receiver.
Yeah, he's one of the best slot receivers in the game right now. And I think their downside, if we get the same old Baker, he gets benched, I think they're going to go 6-11 this year. So kind of exciting to, as a football fan, to watch other teams around the league. It's pretty exciting to watch things like this happen.
And they do have a good defense. Their defense,
Yeah,
they still
really
have Devin White. I still don't remember if the other corner, not Samuels. It's the other one whose dad played really well.
Exactly. I know who you're talking about. Yeah. So their
that guy.
defense is definitely underrated. They did not have their starters in all year, so.
All right, so they're battling it out with New Orleans for number 1.
That's
so you have them at 10 wins. I have New Orleans at 12 wins, 10 or no 12. I think 12 wins.
Yeah.
I think they're going to turn a lot of heads with Derek Carr and all.
Oh,
that
absolutely, man. I'm excited to watch that too.
No.
Being a Derek Carr fan, so.
Now the one quarterback that I have a hard time trusting all the time, Russell Wilson. So when he jumped over from Seattle to Denver, everybody was like, "Oh, Russell Wilson's gonna do this and that," and like, my God, no. I really felt like he was carried by the defense the whole time. He always had a good running back, if not a good 1-2 punch with Rashad Penny, Chris Carson. He had Marshawn Lynch but he always had a top 5 defense helping him out.
Yeah.
He had the Legion of Boom, obviously, and then one by one, even though they got replaced, they always came up. He always had Bruce Irving was there. Cliff Averill was there. Bobby Wagner always held it down for 10 years.
Elite, yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of hard to lose. And in those times, the Niners had an elite defense too, but they didn't have that elite running back like Seattle did.
Yeah.
So I just knew Wilson going to Denver wasn't going to be much of a change.
Mm-hmm.
So I still don't.
So even with Sean Payton, he is one of the most experienced, best coaches they have in the league right now. Do you think? I mean, it can't get any worse, right? You got to say they're going to get a little bit better than last year.
I mean, it just depends. Well, okay, so like every year when you transition to a new offense, your first year is going to look bad.
Yeah.
So whether already he looked bad or not, that's not going to be the point. Point is he has to learn a new offense all over again. And it's the second one now. Can he? Not everybody can do that. Derek Carr did it for 6-7 different times.
Yeah.
And, that first year he always had solid numbers, but they weren't magnificent elite numbers. It wasn't until it came into like their second or third year when he was with the other guy, Del Rio or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just don't see it with Russell Wilson. I honestly, he was bad in the preseason. He was bad. He was under 60%. He was just bad. A couple of plays looked funny too when like he was uncomfortable in the offense, didn't know where he was going.
Yeah. It's just a huge mess last year. I just feel like it can't get any worse. They do have a pretty good defense, so if some magic happens with Sean Payton and Russell Wilson, he gets that whole team together, it kind of be a little bit scary, right?
I mean, their defense is all going to be legit, but until their offense gets it together, I don't think they're in a position to be pushing for playoff spots. I think their defense is going to have to carry them. Jarrett Stidham. Okay, so this is the thing about Jarrett Stidham. He ended up putting up numbers at 17 for 28 for 236 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
All in this last game. So because Wilson has that big contract, you really can't move on from him. I don't think, can you?
No, you can't, man. It's just, they're too far into that. To me, I think it would be crazy to to do that.
I mean, he was 52%, 117 yards and a touchdown. So that's his preseason numbers, and it's not gonna look any better. I just feel like when you bring over a quarterback like Russell Wilson to manage the offense, you have to have those big time playmakers. You have to have. They don't have a big time running back. They don't have. I know everybody say, "Oh, Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, all these receivers," but no, none of them. None of them have went to a Pro Bowl. None of them put over 1,100 yards. Chris Olave did it in his rookie year.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what quarter. He had Winston and the other guy, Dalton, rotating.
Yeah, so it's like every year too, they're taking turns getting injured as well. So we already got Jerry Jeudy hurt. He's going to be out multiple weeks as of now. So
like I said, you don't have that elite running back. That guy freaking Williams is always hurt. So
Devontae Williams, yeah, he's. I actually have him on my fantasy team, hoping he comes back pretty strong, but injury prone, like you said.
So I don't want to be super negative about the Denver Broncos only because they're the Denver Broncos, but I have to be super negative because they are the Denver Broncos, and what they are on paper is just they're a team who can't get their offense right. They're a team whose defense is going to carry them. That defense is raw, man. That defense. They have Patrick Surtain, the son. Man, he's a stud.
Good.
You did make one mistake against Devontae Adams when they played against the Raiders. You remember that? That was to end
one mistake. Adams
in overtime.
That boy, man.
Yeah, in overtime he did that kind of drag, broke off, and hit the corner. Derek Carr hit him over. That was nice, dude.
Yeah, he spun him around a couple times last year, man.
He still got some developing to go, but he's raw. So, but on top of that, their last game was 41-0 against the Rams. The Rams don't look like they're really doing much either. They're in rebuild mode. So, what's your overall consensus for the Broncos, would you say? Upside.
Upside, I'm going to say 7 wins this year.
All right, 7 wins.
I think they're going to go 7 wins, and then if we get the same Russell Wilson last year, we're going to go with 4 wins.
Okay, I have them high upside at 9 wins. That's if they get Jerry Jeudy to come back, who's hurt. Pulled a hamstring?
I think
something like that. So if they can get everybody kind of on the same page, I can see at best 9 wins. Then everybody's off the same page. Now I'm being very generous, giving a 6 win at 4. So hey, they're not any threat to my Raiders. So
hey, you never know too, man. Football, anything can happen, right? Week in, week out.
Yeah. So back to one player I want to go over into fantasy real quick. First we'll go ahead and talk about your top 5.
Top 5, yeah, that's right. Okay, so we both have our top 5s.
CMC comes at number 1.
CMC, we both have CMC, I believe. But CMC comes at my number 1. I think he's going to have that crazy Christian McCaffrey year this year. I think Niners are going to... They know how to use him. They got him for a reason, and they're going to use him.
I like how they don't overuse him. And Brock Purdy, when he came into his preseason game, looked solid. He knew where to go with the ball, and knew what he can and cannot do. When he had to go down, he got down. When he checked down, he looked solid. So with that offense having so many different weapons, I expect a CMC with at least 1,100 rushing yards and at least 800 receiving yards.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think he's going to break the 2,000 again. I think he's going to do it once again. I think he's going to go for around...
And he don't have to carry the team is the good part because you got
Brock
Debo.
Purdy's back. I think he's going to go for around 1,100 yards, and I think he's going to go around 900 yards receiving. And I'm going to give him about 18 total touchdowns. It's a lot, but I think...
Big year for CMC.
I think he's going to have around 18 total touchdowns. So after CMC, I do have Justin Jefferson as my number 2 overall fantasy pick. I mean, Jay Jetta, you can't really say much about him, right? He's stud.
Even PPR, even worse. He's a nightmare for people. You strike fear when you don't have him, and you got to play matchup against him on your PPR league, and you see him, you legit see fear in your eyes.
Yeah, and they did lose Dalvin Cook. They also lost Thielen, but I don't think that's going to be a factor.
Thielen was going downhill. His numbers were diving anywhere. I think they needed a replacement anyway. They did draft somebody else, Addison.
They did get a rookie this year. So
and he's his only knock was he was super skinny. I think he was on like $175 or something. But he's fast. He had some wheels.
You just got to know too is that he's already having issues outside of football, so you just don't know where the kid's mind is at. So, I think Jay Jett is just gonna
target hog.
Oh man, he's gonna be a target hog. I
At
think they're gonna
20
double
20
cover
a
him,
game.
triple cover him. He's still gonna go.
But he's
off.
still gonna get his. He's gonna his at least what 80 to 100 receiving yards, and then his one touch. That's on the average on his low floors, like 80 receiving yards and or with a touchdown and like 8 catches.
Absolutely.
So you're looking at
like
monsters.
15, 16 at least out of PPR every week.
And
I think so.
And I know people would make the argument saying, "Oh well, Jay Jetta would go before CMC," but I chose CMC personally because of the fact of the running back. How much you have your 3 elite running, 2, 3 elite running backs, and then you have everybody else. You only have it's by demand basically. I feel like Jefferson, you have a lot more receivers to choose from if you don't get him. But after CMC, you only have a handful of running backs after him. That's worth a second look. That's for me personally.
Okay, so for my number 3, I do have the remaining fantasy king, Austin Eckler. Last year he did win. He's the king. He's so downplayed, and it's frustrating to me. I feel like people are getting him like at a 6 or a 7. I've seen him actually get picked at like a 10 this year. It is crazy to me. He's gone like top 3 in the last couple of years.
I think a lot of people get worried about the injury. That's for me. That's why I didn't pick him, was his injury. He played one. Did he play last year? The whole year?
He was a fantasy king.
Okay, so now you know his ceiling, what he can get you, because he played healthy all last year. But the years prior, they're still not there for me. I would need one more solid year.
But that's like saying Christian McCaffrey, he's injury prone too. I mean, people are putting him like at 1 or 2 or even 3.
Well, because he did it for multiple years, injured,
true,
and he's still putting up those numbers.
Multiple years as well, and last year was like the first year in like 2 years he wasn't hurt. He didn't get hurt.
Yeah.
So last year he played a full season. To me, I picked McCaffrey and I take the risk, but Eckler, I think he's just like McCaffrey.
So I actually went with Barkley. The reason I went with Barkley was because, and I kind of see your point now about the whole Eckler thing, but I chose Barkley because he's coming off of his strong year.
Yeah.
He had two good years. Then he had injury issues the next year or two, and came back fully healthy last year. Man, I got him in the 4th round. Guy was a beast. Top 5 in fantasy for running backs.
Yeah.
He was running the ball, catching the ball, coming everywhere. So I have him there only because of his offensive use. Daniel Jones won't have that. He doesn't really have that many targets. So ultimately, because of him being the best target and whatever best player you want to say, you're going to have him by demand and by volume.
Yeah, I think he's going to put up the same type of production as last year. So he's going to be great once again in fantasy this year. So we go to my 4th, and I have Tyreek Hill as my 4th. I feel like everybody is forgetting about Tyreek Hill this year for some reason. It's all about JJ. It's all about Jamar Chase. But it's the cheetah. He's more consecutive. How do you say? Consistent. He's more consistent to me. So I actually have him on my fantasy team. I think he's going to put those same numbers up week in, week out. I think he did really good last year. He's going to. You look at Yahoo's projections, they having him going downhill. And I don't get it why. It doesn't matter if Tua's in there or not, he still had points.
Yeah, that's true. It was hard for me to keep him out of my top 5 just because of his explosiveness, big playability, and everything. But the problem, the one issue that I did have with him when I did have him, because I go for him, I've had him the last like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
So my biggest issue with him is sometimes he'll give in like out of the whole 17 games, 16 games, whatever, he'll give me 4 games with like 2 points, 3 points, just because everybody doubled up, tripled them up. They have so many big threats with Waddle and their tight ends, and now I think they're in talks to try and get an elite running back. Right now would be their time to get an elite running back if they're trying to do that.
Yeah.
Because of the running back market is so low right now. So all those Jonathan Taylor that's looking for a new. Dalvin Cook just signed, but I think if he would have waited just a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And you had for your 4th was
who I had Jamar Chase, and now that I'm thinking about it, you do got me second guessing about Jamar Chase, but I think the only thing that's going to be different between the stat line on this one is going to be the reception count. I think Chase is going to have more receptions because of the fact of how Hill is going to have Jalen Waddle around next to him.
Yeah.
Chase has they have other options with Tyler Boyd and the other guy, T. Higgins. Yeah, but Chase is always going to be their hands down number 1. as opposed to Tua. He's gonna stick to spreading the ball around and
I agree on that.
So it was just more volume for me.
Yeah, I think Joey B's gonna he's gonna hit that boy deep downfield all year.
Yeah,
I think he's gonna do great.
And then we both got at number 5.
Cooper, Triple C. People forgot. Everybody's forgot about how good he was.
Don't sleep on him.
Yeah, he was leading the league last year in every single category.
Did he go off week 1?
Yeah, he went crazy week 1. Every single week, he was going good until he had that ACL. I just think a
healthy Matthew Stafford's back. You don't have your running back anymore in Cam Akers. Or is he still there?
He's still there. He's actually their number 1 guy right now.
Okay,
Cam Akers is
if he's your number 1 guy, then you really don't got that much, But you're gonna have the volume there. The volume's always gonna be there. He's gonna be targeted at least 15 times a game.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then if the Rams
gets open.
Yeah, I don't know how, but he does get open. If the Rams are playing like they were last year and he can stay healthy, they're going to be playing catch up all year. So it's more of a PPR thing for me. So that's why I do have him in my top 5.
All you bettors out there for receptions, here's one for you guys. Over under on Cooper Kupp. If the over under is 90, anywhere from 90 to 95, he's going over that.
Oh, for
he's
sure.
going to be flirting with 100 receptions this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Triple C is back. The Triple Crown winner, he is going to be back. I think he's gonna give Jefferson a run for his money this year on fantasy.
Yeah, but that was the top 5. But I do have an honorable mention, Travis Kelce.
Yes.
I had a hard time swapping out Chase, moving up Kupp, and then sliding Kelce at number 5 because 2 reasons. Number 1, volume. The boy's going to get a lot of targets. And then the reason number 2 is that he's playing with Patrick Mahomes. It's Patrick. He's playing with the best quarterback in the league.
Yeah, it's hard to say he's not going to put up the same numbers because I truly don't believe he is as last year. But he's going to get those targets, man. So it's if you drafted him in the first round, you're not making any mistakes. So.
I think you're looking at about 80, 90 targets plus. He might even get 100 receptions again.
Yeah.
He went over 100 receptions last year.
Yeah, he did. He was actually one of the top receiving leaders last year. He's a tight end.
No, I always try to get him in fantasy. On my second time around, when I'm coming, like if I'm like pick number 3 or 4 or 5, whenever he's come around, he's usually there. This year, I see a lot of people taking him in the top 5, top 7 in the first round.
Yeah. And
that has to be because of the gap, right? From how good he is, being super elite to even the elite tight ends you got. You got Mark Andrews, Darren Waller's not, when fully healthy, he's an elite tight end. So, but you can put 2 of those people's numbers together and you still get what Travis Kelce gets.
Yeah.
So that's why I think you'll have, no matter what your team looks like, you're always going to have that advantage at the tight end position.
Yeah.
Because that bet on his worst day can be somebody's best day for fantasy.
Oh, yeah. He's going to give you at least, on a standard league, he's going to give you at least 8 points. I think on a PPR league, I think he's going to give you at least 14.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's going to do great this year.
Okay, so fantasy breakout. Who do you got for your fantasy breaking out?
Okay, for my fantasy breakout, I got George Pickens. I think preseason he's going off so far. I think I can't think his quarterback's name at the moment. Year 2.
Kenny Pickett.
That's right.
Pickett and Pickens.
That's right. For year 2, I think he's gonna only get better this year. And so far their connection is just it's getting better and better. You can tell they're getting better together. So.
Where do you think he's gonna land at as far as top wide receivers in the league?
I will give him a.
Because his ADP is what? Would you get him in the 10th round?
Yeah, so he's being drafted around the 9th to 11th rounds this year, and I think next year we could probably get him around the 4th round. So I'm not saying he's gonna be a top stud this year, but he's gonna have a breakout year.
He's a late value, so somebody that you can put in your flex or something like that.
He's gonna be a really good flex to me this year, or wide receiver 3 if you guys have 3 receivers in your league. So I think I would say I would give him a top 12 receiver this year. It's actually pretty high. I think he's gonna be a top 12 receiver for me.
Top 12, not bad.
Okay, so for your
Mine,
Break
big
out.
old,
Yep.
big old
Who you
Aaron
got?
Rodgers' new target, new toy, new weapon, Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson. All
You
right.
go with Garrett Wilson. All right, number one, wide receiver. Of course, you got Aaron Rodgers. Then you got Dalvin Cook. They have the other running back, Brees Hall.
Yep, he's coming back.
So they have a lot of weapons on offense. He even has his other one, Alan Lazard from Green Bay, came over with him. But you gotta have. He's their Devontae Adams. So he's gonna get. He racked up 1,100 yards last year as a rookie.
Yeah.
With their quarterback situation between the two last year, Zach Wilson and the other guy, the one that runs the ball kind of a lot. Not a lot, but he's more mobile.
White.
Yeah,
that's right.
Mike White or Mitchell
Yeah,
White, something like that. White. But they have Aaron Rodgers, an elite quarterback, top, in my eyes, top 5 quarterback. If he put up 1,100 yards last year with those two quarterbacks, he's going over 1,300 for sure.
Yeah. Well, I agree on that. I think he's going to go around 1,500. I think he's going to have a breakout year for sure.
12 touchdowns seems like a possibility to me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I
So
think
they did connect on their preseason drive, their second preseason drive,
Mm-hmm.
on a touchdown. It was a fade route, and right when he broke off the line, the ball, right before the DB got to turn around to look for the ball was already too late. The ball was there.
Yeah.
He knew the ball was coming, where it was coming, when it was coming. Their connection looked solid.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers can extend plays, so I give him. He's going, understandably, in the second and third round. So even though he's, I'm saying he's a breakout. What I'm saying is he might be top 3 in the receivers.
Okay. I like it. And I definitely think that's still important. He's going to be a top 3 receiver. I think he's going to go just under Jefferson. Then he's maybe Tyreek Hill, and then he's going to compete with Cooper Kupp for that top 3 spot, in my opinion.
Top 3. It just depends on the volume, how much
Yeah.
volume he's getting, how many catches he gets. In PPR standard, I think it will be a lot closer because he probably won't get as much volume as Cooper Kupp and as Jefferson,
Yeah.
but he will get, the yards will be pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
The touchdowns, I can assume once Rodgers is down in the red zone, he's going to look for his big body number 1.
Yeah.
That's where Devontae Adams wasn't a big body, but he's an elite route runner.
Oh,
This
yeah.
guy's a big body,
Mhm.
and he's an elite route.
I think-
He's above average.
Definitely breakout. I think you nailed it right here. He's going to have a huge breakout year.
All right. So in that division, they have the Jets. Who's in that division? The Jets,
They have
Dolphins,
the Jets, Dolphins, then they have the Bills, then they have the Patriots.
the Patriots. Man, who do you think is gonna win that division?
Ooh.
I mean, of course you got Buffalo with Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs. I know that everybody says they got a really good defense, but I feel like in the big games their defense gets scored on a lot. So, I mean, they can hold the sorry teams to couple 14, 18 points, whatever. But that it just seems in the big game they get scored on a lot. So,
Yeah.
New England, New England stories. They're average. They'll probably go 8-8 or 8-9, 9-8 on a good year.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Miami. What do you think about Miami?
Oh man, if Tua can stay healthy, and that's what everybody says, and they're to repeat it over and over again, but it's true. If Tua can stay healthy, that offense can move the ball, man. The defense is pretty solid as well. I think if he can stay healthy, he can give the Bills a 1-1 year, and then he can actually
You split with the Bills.
split with the Jets, split with the Bills, and they could. I think they're a playoff team still. I really do. I think they're going to make the wild card. That's if Tua stays healthy.
Oh, is it a possibility for both of them, two teams, to come out of that division in a wild card?
I don't know. It's so hard.
Well, because you have the Saints as the NFC. Oh no, that's the NFC.
Yeah.
Dang. So the other divisions, they don't have a mismatch nowhere. Every other one's pretty close, huh? Besides Kansas City, our division, they always come in with 12,
Yeah.
13 wins. And everybody else comes over 8, 9, maybe 10.
Yeah. So
Sorry
kind
to
of hard
say,
to
it's the
choose
truth,
and hard
man.
to tell.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go on. If I had to choose, and I had to throw my money now, I'm probably gonna end up going on the Jets bandwagon this year.
I like it.
I think when they do play the Bills, they'll hold them down and score just enough points to win, be low scoring. When they play the Patriots, they're too much offense, too much defense.
Yeah.
You know, that's just how that's gonna go.
Yeah, I think I have the Bills still as number one, and then probably the Jets is number two, and who knows, maybe the Dolphins. I still feel like they might be able to slip in the playoffs. It just depends on the other teams, the other standings and all that, you know. So it's just crazy how those three monster teams are in the same division now.
Yeah. All right. So before we get going, I have one more thing. Michigan Wolverines. I'm a big Michigan guy.
Yeah, Michigan Wolverines. Yes.
Shout out to Denise. You're a Michigan Wolverine fan as well. Been there just as long as me.
Okay, so Michigan versus ECU. They have the spread Michigan minus 36.5. What would you do?
All right. So that Michigan defense, they're missing a lot of players from their defensive line. So I think they come out kind of shaky at first. I'll give East Carolina a couple. I'll give them 14 to 17 points. And then Michigan on the offense, they have J.J. McCarthy back. They have Blake Corum coming back as a running back. They really didn't have elite receivers last year, but their receivers did get enough separations, so they were a really good offense. And the way J.J. McCarthy plays, he can buy time, so that's, you know, you don't need an elite offense. But the running game is what Blake Corum was a Heisman Trophy finalist last year until he got hurt.
Yeah, the running game is dominant.
And a lot of their starters are coming back on the line, so I think like 2 or 3 of them are coming back. So like you said, the over/under minus 36.5. I would push that one aside. I wouldn't go on that one. What I would go look more into is the over/under 51.5.
Yes, that's right, 51.5. What do you got?
So I'm thinking, Wolverines are going to score at will. They're going to score at least 40 points. And like I said, if you get that 40 points, I believe ECU is going to score maybe once or twice, maybe a field goal, a couple touchdowns. If they can put up 10 points, I think Michigan cleans it up to 42, 48, something like that. And I think they will. I think they'll get one touchdown and a field goal.
I don't think that's too bad of a bet to go over 51.5. Like you said, I think Michigan's going to score at will. And maybe their defense might become a little shaky, just like how you said in the beginning.
I mean, Blake Corum's going to come on a monster game this year. I can see him going for at least 200 or 300 yards because of his injury that happened to him last year that forced him out of the Heisman Trophy race, which he would have won. I mean, he was up to, 1,700 all-purpose yards. Mm-hmm. So he's going to be a beast, guys. And he could have went to the NFL draft. I think he was projected like at a third rounder, based on how he performed or whatever. But my bet, me going over, I'm going over on the 51.5. That's for me to you.
I agree. I like it too.
And these bets, don't load the boat. Don't do nothing like that. I mean, if you got a couple extra bucks, 20, 30, 40 bucks, we're only going to be doing small marks here. And then during the football season, if our account goes up higher, that's when we'll start doing full $100 bets or something like that, whatever you want to call it. All right.
Yeah.
We'll
so
see.
just everybody, if you like fantasy, if you like watching Red Zone, we're gonna be here week in, week out, every Sunday morning. We're gonna get our pre-game bets, and this is my bets. It's gonna happen. So I'm not gonna set you up on something I would not do. Neither is Frank. We're gonna be here betting with you guys. We'll be live with you guys while the games are going on. Follow us at Red Zone, TikTok, Red Zone Fiends. At Red Zone Fiends on YouTube. You guys are already there. So
like, prescribe, like everything, prescribe.
That's right. Like it, share
subscribe,
it, tell your boys.
subscribe.
Make up some shit. Tell them we're the real deal gamblers, man.
Now, if you want us to look at another team and go over their team in depth next week, go ahead and tell us live in the comments or leave comments on the video. So, like today, we went over Buccaneers and Denver. If you guys want to other teams, let us know in the comments, and we'll go ahead and do our research about those other teams, bring out their fantasy beast, and see what's going to happen there.
Absolutely. And pretty soon we'll reveal some of our players that we got in fantasy. Let us know if you have the same players. So we'll catch you guys later. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you soon.
Sign off.